You know, just now I realized that I got the title wrong. Today's day 2293. I wrote 2283, but I'll change that and you'll only know because I said it right now. But yeah, here we are again, looking at charts, talking about them. And here's a chart that I haven't looked at since December, maybe. Yeah, let's count how many months. January. Probably January was the last time I looked at this chart. December, January. And what's happened since then? Had a big slide of the DXY. I guess we could use this one. Why am I looking at the DXY today? I have no idea. Just felt like looking at the DXY. And it was part of my process at some point in time, so maybe running it back is gonna help me become profitable again. No, I'm joking. I just looking at the chart for the sake of it. Like sometimes it happens, like you have that one pair that you haven't seen in a while, and then you just holler to say what's up, type shit. Uh, yeah, I'm still doing this. Like I haven't reached my goal yet of my retirement money, basically my retirement fund, which will allow me to pursue football relentlessly. That is the whole point of my retirement fund, is to be able to pursue football relentlessly. And how many years will I have if I do that? Well, at best I might have another 12 years. Maybe. Well, but depending on how science and tech goes over the next few years, I don't know, I could have another 15, 20 years. Or if I decide to not play at elite levels, could probably play to like a Mukazu or something, right? So that's another thing that kind of made me calm down a little bit, because like the whole thing is, if since that is the goal, then the way I'm using the markets is as a vehicle which will get me to that goal, which means that the mindset I bring into it, the thoughts that I bring into it, the emotions that rise up as a result of those thoughts are going to be within a certain pattern, I guess, if I could call it that. Yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of background noises because I'm not in the 30th floor penthouse recording this, or like in the middle of some forest and God knows where, the world somewhere. Yeah, so bear with it. If not, then just click off the video, dude, and go watch somebody else who has cleaner audio, or just wait. See, turns off eventually. But anyway, DXY. DXY is a fair value gap that is below the midpoint of the range that formed in 2020. I remember while this was going down, specifically this area. This is when I started watching. This is when I was watching Mr. Siek, and I remember he was talking about the DXY just going up and up and up and up, and he was like, I don't know why this thing is still going up, but it's going up, so we're gonna keep going with it. And then the slump between 2023 and 2020, the start of this year. Now we're having some movement. This could just be a liquidity sweep, but me thinks not, because this is actually supposed to be for a lower time frame. It's not supposed to be visible here. Change that, and we'll adjust as we go into lower time frames. Basically, DXY is like market thermometer, I guess. And I still to this day get them confused. Risk on and risk off. It just like I don't know why. I just haven't given it enough importance, I guess. But yeah, risk on, risk off still gets me, because apparently when risk is on, things are supposed to go up, like people are taking on more risk, and then risk off means that things are going down, which means people are taking less risk. So if this thing is going down, but the DXY going down is a risk on situation, because that means it's getting cheaper to invest in other things. However, I don't know what is current, like, yeah, I haven't talked on here since before these guys started bombing each other. Surprisingly, the price of gold is stable despite all that. I haven't looked at the oil charts because I don't know. Actually, I just haven't had a market-wide look for a while. Like this week, I've been off the charts. Yeah, been off the charts till Thursday. And yeah, two things I realized that I need to work on right now is entries. Well, entries, that's the one thing. What about my entries? Where and when? There are times I get the where right, but the when is wrong. There's times I get the when right, and then the where is wrong. Not exactly wrong, but I don't know why I would say wrong. But yeah, it's like it is what it is. And to be honest, this has been an issue since 2020. Like my entries, I've been aware of my entries being a problem since 2020, and I figured that if your account is big enough, then it doesn't matter where you enter, which is partially true, depending on the lot size you use. But now that it requires precision, yeah, entries do matter, man. It really does matter where you enter and when you enter, because that last trade I put up on Thursday, timing was off, direction was right, entry point was right, like risk, like everything would have been okay, just timing was off. So we would have got stopped out. Oh, let me actually just pull it up instead of. I just wanted to draw on a chart, that's why I have the DXY up, to be honest. Anyway, let's look at your USD. That is the one for me. Your USD. I'm making NPC noises. Was it that one? No, it wasn't that one. It was this one. Yeah. Kind of got impatient for being on stream for 2 hours and nothing happening. And then it just hit me now that is the same as watching a match that ends 0-0. There might be some moments of excitement. It's still gonna be 0-0. There's no goals. Maybe you came to the stadium to see some goals. Not every single football match is gonna end with goals, and you're gonna have to, and that's just a part of it, bro. Like, you're not gonna have 6-3 games every weekend. Like, most of the time, games are gonna be 1-0, 2-0, 1-1, 0-0, 1-0. I think I said 1-0. Anyway, let's look at this. So, yeah, got in here, could have stopped out, but there was a better entry down here, which I didn't take, and then price eventually goes through take profits. So Yeah, I mean the framework behind it was okay. It's just small things that needs to be fixed. I would say. I would think. So yeah, let's just get this out the way now. Still long term bullish on euro dollar. I think I was watching this video. It's funny because some like when I, I'm gonna let this guy finish first. I'm gonna let this guy finish first, and then I'm gonna tell my story. But let me just tell it anyway. You guys will probably hear me over this noise. Um, yeah, I was watching Juicy. Juicy is this guy who does slots, like actual gambling slots, and this guy is losing like 100K, 50K in a day. He's losing like he's risking like 12K, 20K, 30K on slots. I'm like, this guy is wild, bro. But I don't know where he gets his money from, like, so can't judge. Probably lives in a 30th floor penthouse or whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, that dude talks to himself quite a bit. I think he has a Discord server, but he talks to himself quite a bit. And I like the format of how his videos are. So I figured that I could also, borrow an element or two from that. Main thing is, dude is just unhinged. That if you want to see an unhinged gambler, that is where you go. Me, I'm not doing nothing, man. Like I'm making decisions because I don't like looking wrong. And Opa Kiyosaki the other day said that it's probably conditioning from being in school where if you're wrong, like, or you make a mistake, you get punished. So you try to avoid, like, if that's been ingrained in you for since you were what, 5 years old, maybe younger, 5 years old, let's say, for 13 plus another 3 4 years, almost 20 years of your life, that's the kind of reinforcement that's being put into you. It's going to be a little difficult to unwire that kind of thinking. But anyway, what did I say about the monthly chart? I forgot to. Monthly is bullish. We ran through buy side on this recently formed. I think this is visible on the ran through buy side. I would even extend this up to here. Buy side has been ran through, and we are still hovering around its midpoint. So maybe next month. Next month's what? July. Shit, we're almost halfway through. Well, fucking up. We're literally halfway through the year in in a week from now. Roughly just over a week. But we'll be halfway through the year. And I'm still out here trying to refine my strategy. Oh well. Don't worry, Si, I'll post receipts soon enough. But yeah. So this looks like it's bullish still. Although it just could be a sweep of liquidity and then the next 2 months see retracement lower because apparently you guys don't trade during summer or something like that. Like summer holidays, something, I don't know. So that makes the market a bit more quiet and then it picks up again in August or somewhere there. Which means we could see retracement lower here and then pushing back higher. What logic is that based off? Seasonal tendencies or just, human cycles? December is Christmas, there's earnings season, there's a bunch of stuff, dude. I don't know, man. So let's go to the weekly charts. Weekly chart also, we have this fair value gap which was closed above we see here. So now it's no longer valid. Take it off the charts. Have this, which is perfectly traded into the midpoint. That is, literally tapped and then expanded higher. We've taken a first pass, second pass. We might run up into there, but also we could just see retracement lower into here first before gathering more momentum to push higher. We'll see whichever happens first. It's another fair value gap. If I want to have it on the charts, let's see if I can have it on the charts. Oh, went a bit too far back. That's a likely target now, if you ask me. Last week I wasn't able to upload this because the internet was down. Yeah, a lot of shit happens in a week, man. A lot of shit happens in a week. And is it just me, or does time feel like it's moving exceptionally faster than it used to? Like when we were younger. And when I say we, I mean I guess that there's a term for it apparently, zillennials. Like, you're born at the end of millennials, but before Gen Z. Because Gen Z, you're fucking cooked. Like, okay, not they're cooked, but relationship-wise, these kids are fucked, to be honest. Yeah. Ooh, this is supposed to be on a lower time frame. Uh-oh, okay. Maybe I changed that here. Go. What other time frame are you visible on? Let's do this. That's my strategy though, like nothing, no big reveal, no nothing. It's just monthly, weekly, daily level markups on the weekend, and then during the week, daily 30-minute, 5-minute PD arrays, which is order blocks and fair value gaps and liquidity pools. There's nothing crazy to it, bro. Like, if anyone thought I had some secret sauce or whatever it is, I wish I did. You know, if you do find some secret sauce in whatever it is that I'm doing, please be sure to let me know. So what happened? Traded into this order block, and then we traced into fair value gap, and we are pushing higher. So I see one of two things happening. Damn it. I see one of two things happening. Either this has just been confirmed as an order block and the midpoint's going to be respected in the upcoming week, or it's already been respected because it's been traded into. What's the high in this candle? 6142, 6142. So these are equal highs, which might get traded into in the upcoming week, and then tap into there as we approach. Because otherwise, the low of the last 20 days is here, the high of the 20 days is here, and we don't look like we want to go below the high of the 20 days. So I would still be very bullish heading into next week. I don't even want to mark this up. It's gonna confuse me. Yawn. I was gonna say a bunch of shit, but I feel very calm right now. I don't feel like ranting. Shout out to BC though. Like, there's a bunch of videos of his. But this is how I know that I'm a little nutty. Is cause I woke up, I was scrolling YouTube, looking for something to watch. Like, okay, maybe I should refine my trading. Maybe I should figure out PD arrays better. Maybe I should watch something about time of day. Then I ended up having a playlist of ICT videos that amounted to 6 hours. 6 hours of listening to ICT talk about charts. And then I was like, yeah, no, ain't no way I'm spending my Sunday, like another Sunday again, watching 6 hours of charts. Blood. Like, not even watching 6 hours of charts, sitting down listening to someone talk about charts for 6 hours. So then I decided, okay, let me find some people who, let me find something else that is a little more digestible. And I ended up on this video that was about 15 minutes long. This dude was talking about a movie that he watched. The movie is called The Menu. And yeah, I found a lot of resonance between me and the main character slash plot of the movie. Not that I've watched the movie, I was listening to this guy go on tangents to explain how the movie is, like what the movie is about, and like how, why it should matter, why I should resonate with it. Probably would have been better off just watching the movie, but I liked the tangents that he went off, so that's, yeah. Um, Basically, it's the chef who like rises to become like top chef. Top chef means he is Michelin stars. Michelin stars. He has his own restaurant. He has his own team. He has everything pretty much. But dude was just not happy with life, you know. Like he just wasn't happy with life. Like you could see you can see it in someone's face when the life, the joy has been sucked out of them, right? Not that way, but yeah. Um, and there was like it was yeah. Why? Because he was trying to get people to see him the way he saw himself, which was a culinary genius who worked hard, earned his stripes, badges, whatever it is, and I was at the pinnacle. So when he made, like, he invited a bunch of people who made dishes for him, and the moral of the story is essentially you cannot really control how people perceive you or are going to see, like, perceive your being because they haven't lived a day in your life, you know? Like, even if you're with them for a day, like, even if they're with you for a day, they're experiencing you. They're not experiencing your thoughts. They're not experiencing your emotions. They're not experiencing none of that. They're experiencing what you're doing for their emotions and thoughts and all that shit. So, looking for, essentially, the message was looking for other people to validate you is just gonna drive you mad because at the end of the day, this dude just blew the entire restaurant up, staff and all. And low key, those times I was feeling like that, I was like, man, fuck this trading shit. Let me just go in and like curse everybody on the internet because they're posting shit that I don't resonate with or I don't want to see. And then the easiest solution is just to get off the internet, which actually has been much nicer for me. Yeah, man. Sometimes you just have to close your computer. But still, also it made me realize like even as much as I do this social media stuff and like I could put out um content that supposedly I feel like should be taken one way, everybody's gonna interpret it in their own way. And that's the whole point of art. Like, and it's cool because right now this is only like a couple of minutes of me talking about topics that are just out there. What does that really tell you about me as a person? Not really much. Like, how do I act in a restaurant? I don't know. I don't know where that tangent was going, but yeah, charts. I see it bullish. You see, like I've already come to a bias for the week, and what's gonna invalidate my bullishness if we fail to close above where above this high, above this midpoint. Yeah, if we trade back up into the midpoint, it's bullish, and then if we close back below it, then guess I'm not bullish no more. But if we start tomorrow, Monday, with or Monday, Tuesday goes and closes below this fair value gap here, then I'm no longer bullish for the week. If we close below this fair value gap, I'm no longer bullish. But so long as we're above this fair value gap, I'm still gonna be looking for buys to head up to there. So yeah, eventually I decided that I'll just watch two videos of like there's two videos on my queue and totaling about one's 2 hours long, the other's 90 minutes long. So that's about 3 hours, which is better than listening to old man talk for 6 hours. Not that listening to old man talk is a bad thing, but dude, I've been listening to your voice for a bunch of years. I listen to some different people. Maybe they might have different perspectives, which could help me. But then I realized that even that itself is just like wishful thinking because there was a 13-minute video that I forgot to mention I watched earlier also. And he basically said, "You stupid AF." Why? Because you're chasing money from trading instead of actually doing the trading process. Which makes a lot of sense if I think about it because when you're at work, let's say you are, I don't know, a daycare teacher. Daycare teacher. You're not thinking that if I teach Susan how to how to write the letter A, that means I've made $2 of my paycheck. No, you're focused on Susan until the end of the day, until she gets it right. Like, the paycheck's gonna come in as a result of you making sure that Susan and her friends are all doing well in class. Same as pretty much any other job, the electrician's not thinking about like when he's wiring stuff. Like it would be a little reckless to start thinking of, you know, I'm gonna use this paycheck to do this and that while you're messing with electric currents, which could literally just fry you and then you never even see that money at all ever again. But yeah, that that literally could have been the fix that I needed. I mean, BC was also pretty good because he just said, "Work out and stack your paper." I guess one thing that does annoy me about doing all this stuff is like the kinds of jobs I would have to do, or the kinds of jobs available if I decide to quit this. Like, what do I do? What do I do that's bearable for what do I do? Drive Uber? I don't know, like moving company. Uh, Make websites. I don't like dealing with clients, and that's another thing also. Is you get to a point where you realize how good this is, and then like so this week was realization because I went to the middle. I was out and about, and I'm literally watching people like fully awake. You know, they're energetic. They're ready, to, eager to get the day started at 7 a.m. and blood. I don't have to be up until maybe 8. Even I could even wake up at 9, and I'd still be on time for market movements. And then I'd sit in front of a screen, push a button for like a 3-hour session, and maybe not even like even within the 3-hour session, less than 3 hours, I could have made that person's yearly salary just by like pushing a button. So it kind of made me realize a little bit of how I'm looking for a better word. Entitled. I don't think entitled is the right word for it, but just for lack of better word, entitled that I am. That I'm complaining that life is like this is so difficult and it's taxing on my emotions and stuff like that. Bro, if I had to wake up every single day at like 5 a.m. just to be at work at 7 a.m. just so I could go home at 4 p.m., I would be emotionally drained. That would definitely emotionally drain me. Me waking up with a computer by my side and being able to push buttons to make money, that should not emotionally drain me. I should be curious as to why I'm losing money, not getting frustrated. Like it is frustrated. I'm human. I can't just turn off my emotions and be like this and that. But then again, that's only because of what I'm like this, like that dude said, you're spending the money before you even have it. And this is probably gonna run for a long ass time because there's a dude doing laundry right now, so I think this is gonna run for a while. But I'm spending the money before I have it. That's why I'm getting frustrated when the trade closes and I don't have the money because then again, why do you expect to get money which you've already spent? Like you've already spent it. Why do you expect now it's going to be given to you? See, you go into the trade with the mindset of I've already spent this money. You're going to do that. You're going to get that result. Versus I'm going in to receive. It's a very, very different mindset, very different emotional setting. So even the execution, the way you're going to manage the trade is going to reflect that. And yeah, another thing also I need to get better at is managing my trades, because even the trades that I do get with good entries and good timing, oh, it stopped. Good entries and good timing, I tend to trail stop loss a bit too soon. And these markets, I've noticed that they don't run straight through, or it's just been this month in particular, or just this week in particular. But the markets are not flying in either direction, so there's the possibility of getting stopped out happens more frequently than not. But it's something that I've got to improve upon. It's those things where it's like you will get found out. Eventually, you will get found out. You can cut corners left, right, and center, but eventually, you will get found out. You could decide to go binge drinking all preseason, but I mean all off season, and then preseason comes around, but you are going to get found out. And also, if you've been working to maintain your fitness over the off season, you're gonna get found out in terms of exceptional performances. But that's not for everyone, again, also, because you have certain individuals who just like, they It just is what it is. That's just how they were designed for that, you know. Anyway, I digress. Let's look at gold. Damn, been rambling for 35 minutes. Let's look at gold charts. Let's look at gold charts. Yo, gold was choppy AF this week. Monthly. What do we have? We run above the previous month's high. I'm gonna extend that. Oh yeah, the whole reason I mentioned Juicy was because Juicy was saying something about somebody talking with lots of different accents, and the accents make sense because it drives home the message that was being conveyed, but they should stop with the accents. And I don't think he's talking about me because I still have 0 views on my videos, man. If you guys are actually listening to this, like, please like my ego will really thank you for it. Not that it's gonna stop me from making them, but it will help quite a bit in maybe being more prepared for these things. So this was closed above and then went into here, and then we immediately reversed, but we failed to break below here because this is now propulsion block, and these things tend to hold more weight on the higher time frames than they do on the lower time frames because I tried to trade off one on the lower time frame, and that did not end the way I wanted it to. So this is what I see on gold. Ran shell side into two PD arrays and then expanded higher, pulled back into recently formed PD array, and then expand higher again, like broke above this, respected this mean threshold, and then expanded finally through closing just below the source of the buy side liquidity. The week started above this level of buy side, and then just progressively traded lower back into the opening price of this block here. And then lastly on the daily charts, consistency. I hear you, brother. Consistency. This is on the lower time frame, so I think it's relevant now. This is on the day. Okay, so this can use here. It's technically also weekly, so is it? No, it's not a swing high on the weekly. Okay. Gold looks like it's still within this range. People are waiting to see what happens with the election. No, elections. Why did I say elections? I'm looking for one that's hidden, but is visible on this time frame. I'm pretty sure that week I tried to take. Should probably clean up my charts, man. don't know, man. Oh, this is also valid. This can go. So you can see we are in a bullish running market where bullish PD arrays are holding, and bearish PD arrays are getting traded through. We hit the high for the last 30 days. Might make another run at it. Might decide that we're going down here. However, if anything, like maybe Trump's just slowed down the markets now till they figure out what's going on between the Middle Eastern countries who are blowing each other up. Swear to God, if that shit turns into World War III, I'm gonna be fucking pissed, man. Like, I'm just out here sitting on my computer talking about charts, and you guys wanna hit me with a what? And no, man, get out of here. Get out of here. Like, and these are grown ass people. You know what? This is crazy, man. I'm the emotional, like, apparently, nobody said this, but I'm just phrasing it out, putting it out there. Like, apparently, I'm being emotional and feminine and childish because I can't get a trade right. Yet these grown ass men who've done apparently manly things like running offices and leading people and solving problems are fucking bombing each other because of what? Yet we are seen as the childish ones, Gen Zs, Zillennials, or whatever, or millennials, or whatever it is. We're seen as the ungrateful ones, as the people who are like entitled and shit. You're literally bombing another motherfucker, saying that this is my land and we're entitled because we ask for free coffee at the office or slightly longer lunch breaks or an office football team. I'm entitled. Anyway, that's for you guys to decide. And like this is, and apparently, but like if we actually were able to stop doing all this dumb shit, humanity would be able to prosper and not necessarily prosper, but progress so much further. Because I'm not gonna lie, like Ratchet and Clank was right. This is a backwater fucking planet, man. Like, if your planet has, like, think of it like this, right? Just as how you guys would see people with, who didn't have airports as backwards and underdeveloped. There's dudes who have space travel, man, like just casually cruising around in spaceships and shit, and then they see us throwing nukes at each other. Like, obviously they're gonna be like, this is a backwater planet, underdeveloped people, species. But anyway, I digress, man. I'm here to talk about trading. So, my bias for gold next week is bullish also. Might see this level get traded into somewhere here, maybe. Hey, stop snapping. Somewhere here. 100 pips is way too many. Give it a nice 20. And then target is up here. That would be decent. That would actually be a very solid trade. Very solid trade opportunity if this was to materialize. Yeah, man, that's all for me for this week. Unless, okay, I guess I'll do this also for euro dollar. Euro dollar probably see another run at this. Well, probably run into here, eh? Yeah, I'm just seeing this now. Maybe run into here. And then from here would be okay to be a buyer. Let's give it like 30 pips. So maybe 30 pips and maybe you want to enter here. And target would be up here. That's what I see on the charts. If you have any questions, comments, or whatever it is, just drop it down below. I am a dude on the internet who talks about charts for way longer than he